Hello, Hauppauge, and welcome to Eagle Watch at Home. We'd also like to welcome you to our 100th all-time episode of Eagle Watch.
100 episodes is a lot, Joe. And even though we are not in school, we are happy to bring this special episode to Hauppauge.
So true, Sage. Now let's start the 100th episode of Eagle Watch with a special interview from Hauppauge alumni Kristen Hansen.
Hello, Hauppauge. Today we are here with Hauppauge High School alumni Kristen Hansen, who is currently a nurse working at Stony Brook University Hospital. Kristen was very involved with the broadcasting program at Hauppauge, so we're going to talk to her about her years at Hauppauge as well as a special project she has started for nurses. Kristen, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
First, thank you for being on the front line as a nurse. Can you tell us a little bit about your current work situation?
I'm a new nurse, and so everything's been a learning curve, especially since the global pandemic began. I actually was off of my first shift from orientation and told I was going to a COVID ICU. It's like nothing that I've ever seen before and hopefully will ever see again in my career. But it's a lot, and you give everything that you've got in every single shift, and you try your very, very best to make sure that these people are being taken care of and that they also feel human. When you're going into a room and you're covered in an N95 mask, a surgical mask, a face shield, a gown, booties, a bouffant cap, a scrub cap, and 2 layers of gloves, you don't even look like a person. So these patients are very, very afraid to, see the nurses and see anyone that's coming into their room. But also they're scared because their condition is so labile, emotionally, physically, mentally, you're just drained. But you do it because you love what you do. And I love what I do. It's just very, very difficult.
Can imagine. Can you tell us about the Adopt a Nurse program that you started?
So I created Adopt a Nurse at the end of March of this year. We started to really see COVID pick up in New York in mid-March. And so I was super anxious for those couple of weeks between when it was this idea and when it was my reality of going into work every single day to what I call COVID land. Rather than taking my energy and not using it in an effective way, I wanted to create a program that was supportive to my fellow nurses and also involve the community in a safe way. A lot of people feel helpless. They want to do something, but they don't know what. So this idea kind of just came to me when I was staying up late, getting ready for another night shift, and I threw it out in a couple of Facebook groups that are full of local people saying, hey, I have this idea. Would anyone be interested in participating? And it's just blown up massively.
What has the response to this program been?
It has been so overwhelmingly beautiful. I don't think I've ever been involved in such a positive community. And the people that are involved, whether it's the adopter or the nurse, it's just the most incredible meshing of support. A handful of community members have actually adopted multiple nurses, or they have taken it upon themselves to give out a care package every single week to the same nurse. Someone actually just adopted 20 nurses today, which is just amazing. Actually, it's a Hauppauge alumni and his family. This has kind of restored my faith in humanity, and it's also given me a lot of hope.
How can people get involved with this program?
So I created a Facebook page called Adopt a Nurse Suffolk County, Long Island, where we are focused on adopting out nurses who live in Suffolk. And you can join our Facebook page. There are 2 Google Forms on there. One is for people who would like to adopt nurses, and the other is for nurses who would like to be adopted. You can also nominate a nurse and reach out to me via email. The information is on the Google Sheet.
Did you ever think that this program would take off like this? And what message would you like to give to all the people participating?
I never expected it to be this big. I thought it would be something that maybe I would get, 20 people involved. And we have had over 550 nurses adopted just in Suffolk County. And I've been approached by a handful of people who wanted to bring it to their areas. Did I ever think it was going to explode in this way? Absolutely not. But I'm so very glad that it did, because the sheer joy that is shared on both parties is unbelievable. And so this Facebook page is just full of positive, beautiful, amazing things in a time where everything is just so negative, so sad, so dreary. It's such a nice light to have on in this dark time.
Absolutely. It's really incredible that it's grown so much and this whole thing that you started. So thank you for doing all of this. Now we'd like to shift our focus a little bit. This is our next episode is the 100th episode of Eagle Watch at Hauppauge High School that our broadcasting students have produced. So we're going to ask you a little questions about broadcasting as a broadcasting alumni.
Make sure you can see my Hauppauge sweatshirt.
Can you talk to us about your years in broadcasting?
So I was involved in the broadcasting program at Hauppauge High School from the time I was in 10th grade through my senior year. Mr. Scheffler was probably my favorite teacher. I don't know if I was his favorite student, but I spent more time in room 347 than I did anywhere else in Hauppauge. It's room 347, right? I have had a passion for film forever, and I actually was planning on going to school for broadcasting and journalism and had a change of heart right before college applications went out. It's such a wonderful program, and I'm so proud to have been a part of it and to still 5 years later be, or oh my God, I guess it's 6 years now, still be a part of it. I think such a wonderful way to show off the creativity of the students in our community and to bring attention to so many different events and organizations and just happy, good stories that should be shared.
What did you like most about being a part of broadcasting?
It was an outlet for me for my creativity. I am not artistic in any sense of like drawing, coloring, any of that stuff. I can't do it. Put me behind a camera, I can do that. So it's actually funny to be on the other side of the camera this time, because when I was involved in broadcasting, I filmed everything and I edited everything. Yeah, so I think that it's a great program to allow kids who may be interested in the film industry or may be interested in broadcasting or journalism to kind of experiment and get a real sense of what you could potentially be signing yourself up for a career. It's also a really great way to network with other people who are like-minded and creative as well.
Do you have a favorite memory that comes to mind?
Every time we taped a live show, I just remember like cracking up. So often, especially with all the bloopers that inevitably happen because we're human and we make mistakes and we mispronounce words and do silly things. I loved all the blooper reels. I was very fortunate to have been involved I actually won a couple of awards for some of the stories that I created. So that was really nice to be able to share my work on a larger platform and also to be recognized for it. So it was a really awesome experience.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thanks for having me. Are you mad that I blew up your spot, Chef?
No, but I'm mad that you don't know my room number.
It was 347. I knew it, but then I was like, "What if I said the wrong?"
No, it's not.
What?
Oh, so awkward. I thought it was.
Steven, help out.
It's 348.
Thanks, Stephen and Lorianne. That was great, and thank you for all you are doing. Now here's Jeff Kramer with a look back at this year's Acoustic Cafe.
Hello, Hauppauge. This is Jeff Kramer reporting for Eagle Watch here at Hauppauge High School's Acoustic Cafe, where students will be performing song selections and duets and so much more, and it will be an exciting evening for all to share. Let's go check it out.
Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll never change all my colors for you.
What song are you performing this evening?
I'm performing 2 original songs called Who Am I Lying To and Maybe.
Thought I'd buried you in the depths of my mind. Told you I would heal and damn it took some time. Piece by piece I built up back to who I was.
What is it like performing in a setting like this?
It's really cool getting to perform in front of all of my friends, and it's a really cool environment.
What song are you performing this evening?
When I Fall in Love by Nat King Cole.
When I fall in love, it will be forever, for I'll never fall in love.
What song are you performing this evening?
Tonight I will be performing Runaway by Ben Platt.
He wrote her poems, songs, and prose. She knew that he'd propose. She only wondered when. One night before they went to bed, he kneeled on both knees, and this is what he said. I may not be wise, and I won't save the day.
Lovely. What is it like performing in this setting?
I think it's a good experience. You know, it's a very comfortable environment to try whatever you want, put yourself out of your comfort zone. The real question is, why aren't you singing, Jeff? Are you singing tonight?
Unfortunately, I'm not, but maybe in the future.
You gotta give the people what they want, and they want some Jeffrey Kramer.
We'll see, you know. Would you ever do an event like this in the future?
Yes, I would absolutely do an event like this in the future.
Lovely. What did you perform this evening?
I performed Boulevard of Broken Dreams from American Idiot and To Break in a Glove from Kristen Hansen.
I walked along the road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone.
All right. What was it like performing on stage and in this setting?
It's always really cool, you know, like with the couches and like the little stage and the dim lights. It's you know, it's really casual. I like it. It's really fun.
Would you ever consider doing an event like this in the future?
Yeah, I did it last year and I did it this year. Same song. Yeah, but you know, I'm graduating, so not gonna do it again.
Summertime's in, baby, need something to keep you cool. Better look down now, though. I've got something for you. Let me tell you what it is. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. Oh my, I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by.
When somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. Every hour we spent together lives within my heart.
Round and around we go. Oh, now tell me now, tell me now, tell me now you know.
Well, there are many talented performers this evening at Acoustic Cafe, and congrats to all who performed and organized the event. Sign off for Eagle Watch, I'm Jeff Kramer.
It takes me all the way. I want you to stay.
That story really makes me miss the high school. Up next, another alumni interview with Stephen Pellegrino and Eric Palke.
Hello, Hauppauge. Today we have Hauppauge High School Broadcasting alumni Steve Pellegrino and Eric Palke. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. All right. So first question, guys. So obviously both of you Hauppauge graduates. So from the Eagle Watch program. So how did you guys both get started with your careers?
I went to college at Hofstra University on Long Island. So did Eric. We actually we roomed together the first year that we were at Hofstra. I've been incredibly lucky in all of my jobs outside of in my career, but got a phone call from News 12 saying, hey, we're looking for temp people to work master control in our studio. Took it right out of college, and then was, my good fortune, the unfortunate situation of somebody else is one of their directors at News 12 was going out on heart surgery leave for about 6 months, and they needed somebody to kind of fill in to learn how to direct. And they asked me at 21, hey, do you want to learn how to direct? And I said, sure. And then, kind of took that experience, ran with it, never stopped directing and TDing for News 12 for at least another 3.5 years. Worked shortly at a sports station called MSG Varsity, where I TD and directed there, and then moved on to other opportunities eventually down the line with CBS and now Bleacher Report. So it's kind of been a whirlwind. It's been, God, almost 10 years now since we graduated college. Now, I guess 14 years since we graduated high school. So it's been, a good string of good fortune, but it all kind of started with the experiences that I got at Hauppauge.
Well, skip forward ahead. Obviously we, graduated through the Eagle Watch and from Hauppauge, went to Hofstra. I went a little bit of a different route. I intended to be a radio, television, and film major with a focus on film. I very quickly discovered that everything that I was learning was making me hate and not wanting to be a part of film. So, because I loved movies so much. So very quickly I adapted and went strictly an audio route as an audio radio major at Hofstra. I actually worked for about what was supposed to be 8 weeks turned into 6 years on and off at WBAB and BLI radio stations on Long Island. Shortly after that, I too went to MSG Varsity for a brief period. And then it wasn't very much after that that I started working in transmission at NBC 30 Rock, New York, where you guys have your set from. Unfortunately, can't be there with it. But I was 24 at this point, stepping into what I still consider to be like the mecca of broadcast technology and the actual network medium. And for 7 years, I was at NBC Transmission, doing everything from just rolling out what you see every day, news, nightly news, and the Today Show, to The Voice and Sunday Night Football, including a couple. I think I did two Super Bowls and 4 Olympics in the time that I was there. And then, lo and behold, here we are together again at Bleacher Report. I've been here now for about a year and a half as an AV tech, working alongside Steve once again.
If you had advice for a high school student looking to get into television or broadcasting in some way, how would you go about that?
So what I would say for anybody that's interested in working in media, I wouldn't even say broadcasting at this point, because there's such a large spectrum there in terms of what you could be doing. One is that you gotta love it, and your heart has to be into it. Because it's supposed to be fun when it's all said and done. Media production is fun. It's about being creative. It's a creative medium. And if you're technical or you're creative or you want to be on camera, there's a place for all of that to kind of work together. And you can kind of, especially now with, social media didn't exist when we were doing this. The fact that people today and the younger generation is exposed to so much content that they can create themselves, it's huge. And I think it's the future. And for us now, we're millennials, but we're early millennials, Eric and I. especially as somebody that like I have some hiring power now, I am super interested in the younger millennial generation because you guys have so much more exposure to technology than we did at a younger age. And so I think that there's a place for that. There's definitely a place for that in the communication industry, especially on the technical side. And so for me, as somebody that can hire, I'm interested in learning more about, you guys and that generation and bringing you in. And I think as long as there's an equal balance there where you guys know that you can be a part of the team, but that are also willing to kind of learn and take your lumps and get those experiences. I think the younger generation just lacks experience because how many times do you get experience to go be a PA on a live, linear television production or work on a large concert event? You don't have that experience because you're still going to school, right? So I would say that try to get as much experience as you can, connect, network, and be passionate about what you're doing. If you do all those things, and you work hard and you're kind to people and you put in the effort, good things will happen for you.
As I mentioned, I've now done live productions for Sunday Night Football, the Olympics, and so many other things, and now a Bleacher Report. It doesn't necessarily have to follow your personal passions in what you're doing, as long as what you enjoy and are good at doing what you want to do. And don't be afraid to ask for help when there is something that you don't understand. People in the production world, in broadcast and everything else, they'd rather it doesn't matter. There's no I in any part of the broadcast world anymore. Everything is a team. You win together, you lose together. It's all a team, and people would rather know in advance if there's going to be an issue. Let's work this out. Let's build out what the best solution will be. We spent, when we started this pandemic, we didn't start it, but when this began, we spent a whole week just research and development trying to figure out how can we do our jobs still. And we worked as a team. People that were strictly equipment managers are setting up meetings with production people to help just coordinate things. So there's always a job to be done. There's always ways to help. There's always ways to be a part of the team, and you got to be there for it.
All right. Well, I mean, that was pretty good. I like that. But I mean, that's all the questions that we have for you guys. Once again, thanks to both of you for coming on.
And signing off for Eagle Watch, I'm Sage Brosi.
And I'm Joe Ferrari.
Stay safe, Hauppauge. Bleacher Report sounds like a really cool place to work. That was a fun interview. Now in other news, here's Allie with a story on a new trend, birthday drive-bys.
Hi Hauppauge! While in quarantine, a lot of people have been doing birthday drive-bys for their loved ones. Let's check it out.
Confetti! Someone had a confetti thing!
Did you know your friends had planned a drive-by for you?
No, I didn't know my friends had planned to drive through for me.
Yeah, I kind of knew that they planned a drive-by for me. Well, one, because my mom kind of gave it away, and my friends kept going, talking about my birthday and stuff, and it was kind of just really obvious and stuff.
How did you react when your friends drove by your house?
I felt extremely happy and thankful that my friends are willing to take their time out of their day to come and celebrate my birthday with me.
I was really happy when everyone came to visit, and I had a really good time. We danced and got to hang out and stuff for a little while, but 6 feet apart, but it was really nice.
I love you! Happy birthday! Bye, sweetie! Guys, say hi! Say hi! Say hi! Say hi!
Describe what it was like planning the drive-by. What did you do to prepare?
It's really difficult to plan for a drive-by because we have to find a time for everyone that would work for them. So once we find a time that will work for everyone, we then plan on like who's gonna lead and who's gonna back up everyone. And then what I prepare with is some balloons, maybe a present if I make one or am able to go buy one, or I also make a poster or a sign for everyone.
It was difficult trying to get all my friends coordinated with the right time for everybody to be able to get there and to find a good meeting spot. We used parking lots from like churches and one of my friend's streets to line up the cars on. We prepared by creating a group chat with everybody and said this is what we wanted to do.
How did participating in the drive-by make you feel?
It made me feel really happy to know that they're really happy on this really tough day that we're stuck inside and you're not able to see everyone. But it's really happy to know that they're having a good time, that all of them or most of their friends were able to come and say happy birthday and maybe drop some stuff off for them.
It really brought my attitude up because it was like the first time in like over a month that I saw a few of my friends that I really wanted to see. And just everyone after that just kept bringing my mood up a little more.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Although a lot of people couldn't have parties for their birthdays, their friends still found a way to make the day special. Reporting for Eagle Watch, I'm Allie Purich.
Well, it seems birthday drive-bys are starting to be the new trend. We have one last story for you, and it's one with another alumni. Here's Lorianne, Olivia, and Sam with more.
Hello, Hauppauge. Today we are here with Hauppauge High School broadcasting alumni Joseph Ramusa. Joe, thank you for being here with us for our 100th episode of Eagle Watch.
Thank you. 100 episodes. Wow, I can't believe we've made it this far. You guys have made it this far.
Yeah, it's crazy. How did you get started with your career?
So I credit Mr. Scheffler and Eagle Watch to a lot of what I do now. I was 14 years old, walked into TV Production 1, learned how to shoot, learned how to edit, started working on Eagle Watch. And then after going to college with a different kind of path, I realized, I really liked what I did in the 4 years that I spent at Hauppauge. So I wound up shifting my focus a little bit in college, got a broadcast master's, found myself in New York City, found myself in Connecticut for a few years, and now I'm back in Albany where I went to college. So kind of went full circle.
Tell us about your current career and how you ended up where you are.
So I'm right now a senior producer, but when I started out of grad school, I just had a regular producer title. Even though I was sitting at the desk on camera, did reports for Eagle Watch, I always had, the passion for being behind the scenes and being able to control the content that's put on the air. So that kind of drove, and it was my experiences at Hauppauge that really drove that.
What do you enjoy the most about your current position?
So my current position now is a lot different than what I am used to. I am on a team of managers at my station where we oversee content that comes through. We approve reporter scripts. We help, pitch stories. You could use the word control, but it helps. It gives me a better voice in how we do things. And starting as a producer really helps shape that. You get your own newscasts. You get to decide what stories are in it. You get to write those stories. But I think the idea of being able to have a greater voice in this business at my station is really what I enjoy doing most of what I'm doing right now.
We would like to ask you a few questions about your time in Hauppauge. Can you talk about your years in broadcasting and television production?
So I remember, I think you guys still have it. I remember the day that Weekend Update set came in. Mr. Scheffler trying to build it in the back. I remember the day he told us we were getting it. It was the coolest thing in the world. And to be able to see that that's, still a big part of what you guys are doing is really cool. I made most of my friends, most of the people I hung out with were in production, in broadcasting. Being able to learn so many unique techniques, the important things about the business, how to write, how to shoot, how to edit. I directed a lot of anchor spots when Mr. Scheffler was busy doing other things. So it was a very enjoyable part of my life, because what I'm doing now is, I can't say it enough. I would not be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for what you guys are doing now, and being able to do that just at such a young age.
What did you like most about being a part of broadcasting?
At the time, back when I didn't really have an angle or an idea of how or if I was going to go into the television business, I loved being on camera for a short part of my life. I had pretty big hair back then. It's starting to get there since I haven't had a quarantine haircut in a while. But that was a lot of fun. Being able to walk around the school, talk to people, whether it was, a segment like Question of the Month. I don't know if you guys still do that, or just, just being a goofball on the set. But then, there were also serious stories we did. And being able to, communicate all that. And at the time we were on public access TV. I know you guys are on YouTube now, which is such a much wider audience and so much cooler. Just being able to turn on the channel and be like, oh, wow, there's my face. I'm reading the news. It was cool for a 16, 17-year-old kid. And now, what I do now is obviously amplified so much, but that was pretty cool back then, being able to do that and see my work on TV for everyone to see.
Yeah. What advice do you have for a high school student looking to get into television or broadcasting in some way?
If you like it, or if you love it, do it. I made the mistake of kind of going off this path for a little bit. Though I wouldn't change anything about it. I wouldn't change the path I took or the schools I went to, or I wouldn't change any of that. But if you're interested, give it a shot. It's very rewarding. And you get to, especially now, you get to tell people history. We're going through two major historic events in our lifetime, whether it's, people protesting police brutality, Black Lives Matter, on top of a global pandemic we haven't seen in 100 years. You get to be a part of that, and you experience that yourself, but you get to shape the experiences that people see on television. And it may not feel rewarding to me now, let's say, but 5-10 years from now, to be able to say you were part of that is really what would help, I think should help drive someone who thinks they want to do this to do it.
Thanks for joining us today on our 100th episode of Eagle Watch.
Thank you. Congrats to 100 episodes. Here's to 100 more, and keep doing what you guys are doing. It's great work, and it's so great for the community. It's so great for the district, and I'm so proud of everything that the program has done, what you guys have done in past years.
Well, that's all for our 100th episode of Eagle Watch.
Thank you for watching, and stay safe, Hauppauge.